Just gonna check the sound real quick. Checking the sound. Hello, 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 hello. What does it sound like? What does it sound like? Check the sound real quick. Checking the sound. Man, you guys can't hear the game input at all. Let me adjust that. Okay, maybe that'll be better. Man, you guys can't hear the game input at all. Let me, let's see how that sounds. I'm gonna drive a little bit and check the sound. Checking the sound, checking the sound. What does it sound like? What does it sound like? Hello, hello, hello. Checking the sound, checking the sound. What does it sound like? What does it sound like? Hello, 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 hello. Alright, let's see how that comes through. Checking the sound. What does it sound like? What does it sound like? Hello, hello, hello. Checking the sound, checking the sound. What does it sound like? What does it sound like? Hello, 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 hello. Alright, let's see how that comes through. I think I like that. I might turn game sound up a tiny bit more just because this game does not have much going on. So we'll go there with the game sound. And then I think that's clean. I like that overall. And let's make sure I get my chat. Rafe's here. Rafe, how you doing? What's AC? Playing AC. I don't know what that one is. Don't know what that one is. I need to find a job here in town. I'm in Aberdeen. And you know what? I need to change, I think, my layout. So that I'm in the upper left corner, I need to create a new layout. Let's go scene 6. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get it fixed here. I'll get it in one sec, guys. There's my cam. I'm gonna put this in the upper left corner for this game instead of lower right because there's a lot of important stuff in the lower right. And let's do this. Okay, I think that's good. And maybe I can make my face a little bigger. I'm so blue because of the blue on the monitor. Okay, let's see, let's see. Rafe says Assassin's Creed. Got you. Yeah, I haven't played any of those ones, actually. Not played any of them. Not that I'm against it. Okay, that's better. Okay, so I am in Aberdeen, and I need to find a job to... I've been trying to go all around Washington and open up all the cities, because Washington just came out not too long ago, and Utah's coming out soon. It'll be cool when Utah comes out. So, I might take this little job. Yeah, I'm gonna take this one. Because I can get Longview on the way down to Vancouver, and it gives me $71 per mile, which is really good. So I'm going to set this as my destination. Nice. Let me pull up my chat because it had went away. Here we go. Is the balance good, Rafe? Can you hear me well? Can you hear the game well? Does one overpower the other? I've not streamed any of this before, so... Here we go, here we go. It's fine. Cool. Thank you. That's one thing in this cab that's really hard to see the stoplights if you don't go to third-person mode. There's my truck. Pretty exciting. Ooh, oh, the bridge is up. Good to know. For what it's worth, I'm a little erratic, and I'm not a good driver. I'm just playing with a controller. It'd be so cool to have a wheel and be able to play with a wheel and everything, but I don't have that. I like this game because it's so relaxing. So relaxing. Not too much going on at all. James says, I like games that make you think. I do have a few puzzly type games. Is that what you mean, James? I have a few puzzly type games. I don't play them too much because they burn me out. Like, my head goes, ugh. But I do like them. They kind of stress me out, and then I feel stupid. They make me feel stupid. That's the other thing. I don't like feeling stupid. So maybe the two reasons I don't like them. Oh, I am speeding bad. James says, I mean strategy, choices matter, RPG, simulation, etc. Oh, I understand. Yeah, I like strategy games a lot, actually. I used to play a lot of real-time strategy games, like Age of Empires back in the day. And then I've tried to get a little bit into some of Paradox's, like, grand strategy games, but they're, like, kind of complicated. They're a little difficult. I'll be excited when Utah comes out. That's going to be a nice DLC for this one. I'm really looking forward to when they get Colorado, so that I can drive in the state I live in. That'd be awesome. I know we're getting close. They have most of the West Coast at this point. Here we go. Ooh, it's a dirt road. I wonder if this is like a logging. I'm gonna go out to third person. Look at this. Let's stop here and see what they want me to pick up. See what they want. Freight market. And we're taking the log loader. Take job. High value cargo, heavy cargo, articulated trailer, and important delivery. So there's a reason they're paying so much for this one. Your trailer is ready. Okay, it looks like it's just forward a bit. And I've found that on these articulated trailers, trying to get them out is often the hardest part. So it's just, I'm packing this Traco, it looks like. Yeah, I'm gonna grab this track hoe. That's what I'll be hauling. Okay. I think if I spin around here, I'll be able to back up to it. I'll be a little crooked, but I think I'll be alright. Is it in my other mirror yet? I'm getting pretty close. I should reset. There we go. This will be perfect. Got it. Okay, now I'm going to take a third-person view just to get a feel for where I'm going. Because these articulated trailers, if you mess up, you don't get an opportunity to back up, really. So, if I'm going to back up, I need to do so, I think right now. Right off the bat, I need to back up in a straight line. Take advantage of all my space. And then I think I'm just going to try to pull out on this right road here. Man, I don't have much room. I'll try to back up a little bit. Just a tad. And I might make a multi-point turn. I know I'll look silly doing it, but it's essential, I've found, on these articulated trailers getting off to a good start. See, this truck right here in my way is going to be the difficult part for me. Oh man, look, they're pulling the tree down over there. I can't believe they got the night shift going. Okay, I think I'm going to go for this. The trailer should stay on the inside of this. I just need to make sure not to clip anything on the right. Okay, this feels good. It's good. Let's see how it clears. Oh yeah, I'm good. I got plenty of room. Nice. The other thing I want to do, let's go check our map, because I think I want to hit up the, let's see, world map. I want to hit up Longview on the way and make sure I unlock that city. It looks like I might hit it. My concern is if I try to pull into there, as is, then I won't have a good place to flip a U. You know what I'll do? Instead of going north to Aberdeen like the game suggests, and then east to Olympia, I'm just going to go south right off the get-go. I'm going to go south down to Astoria, east to Longview, and then up through and go to Vancouver from there. Yeah. So let's do this. Much preferred. Let's look. That's 165 miles, 3.5 hours. Versus 3 hours, 10 minutes. I had 20 minutes to gain a much easier route in terms of getting the cities I want to unlock. So I'm going to go for that. I like it. Let's go back to driving. Oh. Puppy is interested in what I got going on. I don't know if you guys have seen my puppy. What are you doing? Pup. Here's my little corgi. Rory the corgi. I don't know why she's so excited to come down here, but here she is. She's a cutie. Good girl. James says the music fits the type of planning you got. Awesome. Okay. Let's go. I can't wait till the sun comes up. Unfortunately, in game time, it's midnight. That's probably the only thing I don't like about this game as much is I often end up doing my hauls in the middle of the night just because of how the 8-day sleep cycles work. And the game is beautiful, really. I love the graphics on it, but oftentimes you can't see them very well because it's so dark. And on these bad roads, you gotta take the turns as wide as you can. As wide as you can. I need to do the same thing here. Man, this road is busy for it being 1 in the morning. Everyone else wants to go that way also. I think I got room after this car. Okay, go, go, go. And again, I need to take as wide a turn as I can. Look at this. Man, I'm in the middle of the road. It's a good thing I'm not a trucker, because I wouldn't be very good at it. Okay, I think I'm gonna get back in the cab now. There we go. Okay, we're on the road. I'm telling you, that's probably the hardest part, is getting onto the road. The big articulated trailers are very tough to get out of their tight spots. My next challenge is going to be to go the speed limit. I always get impatient and I just go as fast as my gear will let me. James, what are some of the games you typically play? I know you told me the type, but what are some of the names, like the titles? Hopefully I don't get any oncoming traffic on this turn, just as I say that. Okay, good. Barely made it around that corner. And then I think I got a full stop and a right turn coming up here. James says Stellaris, Jay's Empire, Tabletop Simulator, Cultist Simulator, etc. So I have Stellaris and Tabletop Simulator. I've never played Stellaris, so maybe I should stream it one of these times and you can teach me how to play. And then I've got a bunch of the games on Tabletop Simulator. I actually have a fairly large board game collection. Look at this turn. And the light. Come on. Oh yeah. Look at that. Nice. But we should maybe jump on and play Tabletop Simulator sometime. That'd be fun. I'm letting my engine rev too much, I can already tell. Take a wide turn. Luckily I don't have any oncoming traffic. James says, I got a time travel game in Tabletop Simulator. Is it a worker placement time travel? Is it Anachrony? Or is it a more recent game? Because I know Anachrony is a few years old now. Steam Workshop. Oh, I don't know if I know about. Yeah, Steam Workshop's where you can pick up some of those games, right? Because a lot of people, something I love about Tabletop Simulators, a lot of people put the board games into there, even if they're not officially supported. Man, this route sure has some twists and turns. Ooh, another big truck. I'm gonna have to get over. Luckily I was coming off a right turn, so my trailer wasn't in his lane. This one's gonna be tough. Ooh, these left turns are hard. Nice, I cleared him. Here we go. This run's looking good so far. Still 120 miles out, not too bad. Looks like there's a big hairpin up here. That's gonna be interesting. Ooh, the light's starting to come up a little bit. Big hairpin coming up. .35 on this turn. Okay, I need to slow down just a tad. And I'm just gonna have to hug this shoulder. Not too bad. You can see me here. Just that trailer gets so much in the other lane. Getting going uphill. I'm gonna have to drop my gear. Alright. We weathered that. Ooh, you can tell this hill is tough. Does not want to go. I don't know how much weight I'm packing, but it does not want to go. James asks, what does the Bible say about leaders? The Bible has a lot to say about leaders, James. One of the good Old Testament examples is Moses. And Moses is interesting. One of the things that we have about Moses is he wasn't very confident in himself. He didn't think he was a good speaker. He didn't think he was a good leader. But God called him anyway and showed him many, many times that if he relied upon him, that he would be sufficient. The other thing we learn about Moses is that he tried to do all of it himself. He tried to, lead himself and all this stuff. And to be frank, to put it in common terms, he got really burnt out. Ooh, look at that turn. Oh, this bridge is awesome. This bridge is really cool. You see across the bay, the sun's starting to come up. But Moses burnt himself out badly, and so he ended up, at God's direction, ended up getting some help from Aaron and from Miriam and from others, and they gave him direction and guidance and helped him do some of the other aspects. Another thing, there's a good word picture in Moses when he's praying for Israel to win the battle. He actually is holding both his hands up to heaven and praying for Israel to win the battle, and then his hands begin to fall. They begin to kind of slump down, and every time his hands fall down, the enemy starts winning the battle, and every time his hands go back up, Israel wins the battle. And it's a picture of relying upon God in prayer for success and victory. And a perfect example of that too is two of his supporters come alongside and help him hold his hands up because his hands get really, really tired. And so they help hold his hands up, and that helps them to succeed. And so there's kind of that biblical picture or image of people coming alongside leaders and helping to hold their hands up, right, as they minister. So that's a good example as well. So some principles there. It's not how skilled or talented you are as a leader, but it's relying upon God. And another big aspect is getting support from others, getting help from others. That's a key also. Man, I love... you can see what I mean about not liking the dark? Great graphics on this game once you get the sun start coming up. So that's one thing we learn about leaders. In the New Testament, we learn some similar concepts because the apostles get caught up doing all of the services and ministry in the church. And so they actually appoint deacons to help them. I've got to take a wide turn here. They appoint deacons to help them in their ministry of the church. And those deacons kind of help support them. And the deacons themselves actually have similar qualifications to elders. They have to be full of the Holy Spirit, and so it's not like they're the B team. The deacons are also called by God and are very important. So those are a few biblical principles about leaders. Rafe says, I totally identify with Moses, especially in confidence. Yeah, I completely understand what you mean, Rafe. Is this guy gonna go? He was waiting for me, and then I didn't go, so he started to try and go. I'm in the intersection now, buddy. Man, gotta take a wide turn here. Oh, I got too high of a gear. There we go. James says, I was asking because I was recently playing this game called Rebel Inc. What's it about, James? I think I've heard of that game, but I don't know any details about it. Ooh. Red light here, I need to slow down. I know I'm taking up all the lanes, but this trailer's so big, I want to make sure I don't clip anything. Man, that old truck don't care. James says, I was playing as a nobody civil servant whose job it was to bring prosperity and stability to a region. So you start as, like you said, a nobody, but you become a leader? Or do you kind of like work almost underground and end up like leading from within, even though you might be a silent actor behind the scenes? How does it go? I'm glad that tree allows me to clip it. This is a tall traco. Man, I love the graphics in this game. Another wide turn. Totally speeding, going 10 over. Really cool little town, Astoria here. I'm on the curb. Yeah, maybe I should get back into first person view. Make it easier to stay in the lines. I'm gonna go for it. Oh, they find me. I swear that was yellow. A little upset about that. The mirrors show good to merge. James says, basically you are placed in charge of a region whose reputation is seen as a backwater, backwoods place, and your job is to make it prosperous and stable. Oh, that sounds really cool. I might have that one. I have so many games in my Steam library I've never even opened or tried or anything like that. Kind of makes me feel bad. I wish I just had more time. There's just so little time. And of course we want to spend our time profitably and not just play video games all day, every day, right? So it's a challenge. James says, in the end I succeeded in making peace with the rebels, and I built schools, clinics, brought techs, etc. And the ending said they were making a film about the nobody silver servant, aka me. Huh. That's interesting. Here's my exit. I can't believe how smooth the game's running right now. You know, running Logos and streaming hasn't been hard for my CPU, but I'm playing this game in 4K right now, and then streaming it to you guys at 1080p. That's quite a bit of horsepower, and I feel like I'm not dropping any frames. There's not much stuttering, so that's pretty cool. I gotta drop my gears again. I'm way too high a gear for what I'm doing. Ooh, we got another big bridge coming. So I'm coming from Astoria. Let's see where I'm going now. I'm going to Longview now. Another big bridge. James says, in another game, I was playing as the president of Mali during the Mali Civil War. The Civil War was a three-way war between extremists, separatists, and government. Wow. What game is that? I've not heard of that one. Oh man, the boat going under. I love the water. That looks really cool. I didn't know that Washington and or Oregon had such cool bridges. As the president of Mali, I beat the two other sides and made peace, power, and revolution. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. And that's something I love about games, too. I've never heard of the Mali Civil War, right? It's not anything I've ever concerned myself about, worried about, thought about. But games allow you to kind of learn about things like that, which is pretty neat. I'm going to have to take a wide turn here, get in this lane. Okay, good to go. Ooh, gonna have to take it wide. Okay, that car's fine. James says, in the end, I had 80% popularity due to bringing peace and welfare, but I ran out of turn limits. Gotcha. Okay, I gotta stop at this light. So here's Longview. I wanted to unlock the jobs in this town because it's specifically the reason I came through Longview. You can see over here too. Oh, I can't even point at it. In the lower right corner, you can see my HUD. I've got plenty of gas, but that bed is lit up pretty blue, which means I need to rest soon. So that's gonna happen. Man, these guys do not obey stop lights. Rafe on YouTube says, my iMac is done. I'm getting a new desktop, hopefully in December. Gonna make sure that it has plenty of power. That's awesome, Rafe. Are you gonna build it yourself, or are you gonna buy from like an Alienware or a Best Buy or something like that? I didn't know anything about computers, and my brother-in-law, oh, I bumped into him. Look at that. I didn't know anything about computers, and my brother-in-law taught me how to build computers, and I really appreciated having that skill. James says, the thing is, the game gave me an option to remain in power by force because I was popular with everyone, including the military, but I refused. The game's ending showed me retiring with the government and military sending me off, and the finale showing me fishing. That's pretty awesome, James. I have a feeling he's not moving because he thinks I'm too close to him at this point. So I'm going to back up and let him move. Yeah, that's all it was. That's pretty cool, James. So you lived up to the community you had built, right? You didn't say, I'm doing such a good job, I'm going to start bending the rules. I'm going to start doing this by power. Instead, you said, I'm going to do what I committed to do. So that's pretty cool. Consistent till the end. even if it meant losing your power. But you got to go fishing. Rafe says, no, I will get a good one from Dell. That's a good choice, Rafe. I actually bought a laptop from Dell, an Alienware laptop, and I stream off that from time to time. I'm on my desktop right now, but sometimes when I stream from the church, I stream from my laptop, and I made sure to buy a good Alienware laptop so that I would be able to stream. Because, like you, I wanted to have plenty of power. I wanted to be able to play games, too. $62 more miles to go. Ah, the early morning. Some good graphics. About to merge here. I think I'm good to go. Well, I don't even need to merge because I'm taking this next exit. James says, what does the Bible say about leaders like those two? Leaders like which two? The ones you described in the games you were talking about, James? In the games, yeah. Well, I think the description you gave of not abusing your power, that ultimately the Bible talks about like civil governments and things like that too, and it essentially says, ooh, it's saying my delivery needs to arrive soon. Let's see how much time we have left on this delivery. It'll tell me if I need to speed or not. When do they expect my delivery? Expected at the latest 7:48 a.m. And what time is it now? It's 5:56 a.m. So I have less than 2 hours to get there. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta book it. It says I have an hour and 52 left, so... Well, in the lower right corner I'm showing 59 minutes, so... Yeah, the hour and 52 was how long. So as long as there's not a significant roadblock, I should make it with 45 minutes to spare. And it kicks up the music. The pressure's on, deliver on time. James, sorry, I got distracted because the game was like, you need to get there quick. The Bible essentially says that leaders ought to follow God and submit to God in their leadership. So, for example, King David is a leader in the Old Testament during the time of Israel, and he's a king, but he uses his power corruptly at times. Not all the time, but sometimes. Overall, he's a good king, and what the Bible says in general is that he's a king after God's own heart, which is a commendation of him. But he abuses his power at one point and actually takes somebody else's wife because she was beautiful, and then he has that man killed in a military conflict by the strategy he tells the general to employ. He tells the general, go out and pretend like you guys are going to attack the walls, and then pull back at the last minute and put him on the front lines, and actually ends up getting him killed. And the Bible roundly condemns him for being corrupt and abusing his power, even though God had given him so much. So the Bible makes it very clear that leaders ought to submit to God and God's standards and principles as they rule and govern. It's not up to them to do whatever they please, but instead God says that they must govern and rule as He would have them to govern and rule. So there's a lot of power in leadership, but there's also a lot of responsibility. And many times biblical leaders don't follow through on the responsibility that they have. You can see stories of kings over and over in the Old Testament, and repeatedly what they do wrong is they lead their country down the wrong path religiously. And God has a lot to say about that. And so that's something I think leaders in today's day and age should really take to heart. Not abusing their power, You don't lead so that you can become rich and get everything that you want, but you lead so that you can make the people better off and you can turn them towards God. And so those are some standards and principles that we get from the Bible on leadership in general. Rafe says, I will get 2 monitors as well for easy sermon prep. I want 32-inch curved monitors. The only decently priced ones that I like are from Samsung. Yeah, that's awesome, Rafe. I use the 2 monitors. You can see I'm chatting with you because I got the chat open on the other monitor. It's so much easier to do sermon prep with 2 monitors. It really is. Logos is much easier to use with 2 monitors, and you can put your notes and your Canvas documents, whatever that you have, on one page, and then you can put all your books and stuff on another monitor, and that's really, really nice. Okay, I think I'm going to kill the delivery time, guys. We're going to do good. I've still got about an hour, and it's showing we're 20 minutes out, which is great. We should get a lot of XP and money for this delivery. Rafe asks, what kind of monitors do you have? I'm glad you asked, Rafe. I've got 2 monitors of different types, different styles, for different reasons. So the monitor I'm gaming on right now is actually a 4K. It's a cheap 4K 60 hertz monitor that's made by LG, and I got it on sale, and I got it because it was 4K and it has a lot of real estate. I want to say it's 27 inch, but to be frank, 27 inches on a 4K display is a bit too small. When I'm running Logos in 4K, I find I have to upscale it a lot because I just don't have enough real estate to take advantage of the 4K. So I think 27 inch 4K is not ideal. And I don't know if it's 27 inch, but it's not huge. And so that's what I'm currently playing on right now, is the 4K. My other monitor, I got a high refresh rate monitor for playing like shooters. And so my other monitor is smaller. It's only 1080p, but it's got a 240 hertz refresh rate. So I got that so that I could play first-person shooters and different games like that. And that's a good one. That's an Asus equipped with G-Sync. It's one of those Asus POG equipped with G-Sync, all that type of stuff. Neither of them are curved, but one's larger than the other, and then the larger one is also 4K. So I got them so that I have 2 different options. So when I play some games, I play them on the 4K monitor, but I'll like, if my frame rate was super low playing this right now, or if I was getting a lot of screen tearing, then I would probably just go into the options and switch this game to be played on the other monitor. And I can switch back and forth between 1080p high refresh rate or 4K lower refresh rate, depending on the type of game I'm playing. And I can get you the specific specs here in a bit after I finish this delivery. Oh, I have a green light. It's the arrow threw me off. Let's make this big turn. We're going to have to stop at the railroad tracks. Let's hope these go quick. Just as I say that, the train goes by. Nice. Nice. I think my trailer's probably still in the intersection. Not quite. Rafe says, I'm a little bit confused on what monitors to get. Okay. Honestly, I would not recommend getting a 4K monitor. After it's all said and done, they're more expensive, and unless it's massive, you're not going to be able to use that real estate. Everything is so tiny, so you end up upscaling it anyway. So I would not get a 4K monitor. I would get a 1440p monitor at most in terms of resolution, but 1080p monitors are just fine. And I would get dual monitors like you're talking about that allow you to use both monitors for Logos, because that's very, very beneficial. Let's see, where do they want me to park it? Oh, I'll just do that one. Pull straight ahead. And this will allow me to get the parking done quickly, because I'm butting up against my time limit. Rafe says, okay, noted. Yeah. Come on, I gotta be right in there. There we go. Boom. Delivery done, guys. Let's see what we get. Log loader delivered Aberdeen to Portland, 165 miles, 7 hours game time, 28 gallons of fuel consumed. Not bad. So we made 11 grand on that delivery, almost 12 grand. That's pretty good. And now we're in Portland. Okay, I need to rest in game, so let me... Oh, I should look at my map and find a good resting spot. Let's see, world map. Is there a good rest spot? So I'm here, and the nearest rest is down here. I would also like to repair my truck because I did get in an accident a while ago. There's just nowhere good to repair right now. The repairs are the red, and I don't want to have to drive clear to Vancouver and down to go there. So I guess I won't repair yet, and we'll just go get some gas and get some rest. And once we do that, we can look for another job. Oh, and let me get you some of that info, Rafe, on my monitors. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not even going to look for my 4K monitor because I wouldn't recommend it. Let's go to my old orders. And I know I recently, I think this year, bought my Asus 1080p high refresh rate monitor. Yeah, I got the Asus ROG Swift PG258Q 24.5 inch gaming monitor. I'll throw this in the chat for you. There we go. Hopefully that goes through. And so that Asus ROG Swift, I find the 24.5 to be plenty of real estate for a 1080p monitor. You don't need this one because it has 240 hertz refresh rate. Nobody needs a refresh rate of 240 hertz. I bought it for competitive first-person shooter gaming to try and get my refresh rate as high as I could, my lag as far down as I could. So that's why I bought it. I think the 24.5 is fine, but you don't need that higher refresh rate. So I think two 24.5 inch monitors would be great. Like I said, my 4K monitor is 27 inches, and it's just too small. Look at the icons. Look how small this is, right? If I was to bring up Logos and I was to scale it down, Logos shows that you can just see it's tiny. My main focus is Logos, not games. So right now this is upscaled 200%. Look at this, Rafe. If I go down to 100%, look how small everything is. And I bought it because I wanted all the real estate, right? I can put my Bible here. I can put my library further down. Maybe down on the bottom. Ooh, it's lagging. I'm trying to tell it to do too many things at once. My library down on the bottom. I can put, a book over here. And I can put a book over here. So yeah, that's lots of room, but you can just see everything so tiny. So just so you know, you can look at this yourself right now on your screen. This is what it would look like if you got a 4K 27-inch monitor. It would be like this. And I think it's too small. I think to take advantage of the 4K, you need like a 30-inch monitor or maybe a 29-inch. But this 27-inch is just too small. Everything is tiny on here. And so I end up upscaling it. And if you're going to upscale it, then you might as well not have bought a 4K monitor, right? So 1440p is the highest resolution I would go, especially for Logos use. See, I got to go program scaling, and I got to go 200% so that it's all legible, right? So 1440p is the highest I would go, but 1080p is just fine. Which one are you looking at, Rafe? Just tell me and I'll type it into Amazon and go check it out. James says, sorry, I think I missed your response to my last message. James, what I was saying, I talked a lot about King David. King David is a really good biblical example of leaders like what you're talking about. And King David gives us both positive example and a negative example. One of the things the Bible has to say about King David that's so good is that King David utilized his power to point his country in the right direction spiritually, right? To point his country in the right direction spiritually. He caused them and had them to follow God, the one true God. And so that's something the Old Testament has to say very positively about King David. But you get a good negative example from King David as well. He abused his power and authority. Kind of like you talked about as the, I don't know if you said king, president of Mali. You said that rather than utilizing power to get another term, you went ahead and followed the rules and retired. And that's actually something David didn't do well. He used his power to steal the wife of one of his commanders. One of his commanders had a very beautiful wife, and he actually used his power to steal his wife, and then he actually ended up sending his commander into a very treacherous battle and had his commander killed, because he didn't want people to find out that he had stolen his wife. And so he absolutely abused his power to try and get what he wanted, and God was very, very critical of him because of that. And so those are some aspects of biblical leadership similar to what you're talking about. And there were many, many kings. King David was one of the best kings, even though he had done that and made that mistake. But there were many, many kings throughout the Old Testament who abused their power often, and God has a lot to say about them negatively. He constantly talks about them in negative terms. Rafe says, check this out, let me know what you think. Samsung 32-inch curved LED. Oh yeah, those are good. Those are a good price. Let's see. Main purpose is Logos. Now, I've never used a curved monitor. They look cool, but I've never used one, Rafe. Have you used them before? Do you like how they work? But a curved monitor like that, I mean, yeah, it's got a little lower refresh rate, but you're not going to need that because you're using it for Logos, not gaming primarily. Yeah, I think that looks nice. I think 2 of those would look really nice. I've just never used a curved one, but I could see how if they were both set up like that and you had 2 curved ones, that would be kind of a nice setup. James says, gotcha, thanks for answering. My pleasure, James. Rafe says, I have seen a friend's curved monitor. Better on the eyes, he said. Yeah, that's awesome. I've not used them before, but I could see them being more beneficial. So, yeah. I would go for that if that's the direction you're leaning. Oh, I was going to go rest and get some gas. Let's see, where was I? I pulled straight in. I have room to just turn, I think. Yeah. And that trailer's behind me, so. Emu62 says this one's way better than Smoked Out Gaming. I think you're complimenting me, Emu. I don't know Smoked Out Gaming, but I appreciate that. Alright. Just drop the trailer off. I'm gonna go rest and get some gas. I'll warn you, I'm not a good driver, Emu, if you're just stepping in. I'm real newbie at this game. I play with a gamepad. I don't have a wheel and pedals or anything like that. But I mainly just play to have a little fun. I like how relaxing this game is, and I'm not an enthusiast, so that's me. I like this time of day. You get nice graphics, nice weather. Gotta wait for all these people. Emo says, yes. Very good. Thank you. Happy to hear it. Feel free to interact with me, Emu. I love chatting with people, and that's part of why I play American Truck Simulator, because it's such a good game to just chat with people. Oh man, after hauling that, it's so funny how differently your truck handles after you get done hauling a big load. I hauled that giant articulated trailer, and I got so used to driving it, and now I'm just flying through the gears. Handles completely differently. Rafe on YouTube says, I also feel good about what I have done on my sermon so far. I preach next Sunday, so I have some time. That's awesome, Rafe. Maybe we can, I'd love to go over your text with you tomorrow. And we can chat a little bit about what you've prepped so far. And I could just get some of the ideas that you have going. It's always nice when you feel very comfortable with where your message is at. I'll tell you, after we put in those 3 hours today, I feel a lot more confident about what I'm going to be putting out on Sunday, and that's super encouraging for me. Rafe says, oh, okay, sure. Yeah, that'd be great. And if you're busy, I completely understand, but I'm going to have some free time tomorrow because I'm honestly going to need another half hour for my sermon prep before I'm done. And usually I like to stream for at least 3 hours on Saturday. So we can maybe do that, and then maybe I'll just jump into a book. We could kind of read the book together. That'd be cool too. Now the real question is, right on red. Are they okay with right on red? I think I should go for it. I'm going for it, guys. Don't find me. Nice, we're good to go. Rafe says, I need to work on emphasis and natural speaking gestures in the pulpit. I'll be here. Awesome. Yeah. Oh, you hear my guy yawning? It's good I was going to find a place to rest because he is tired. Yeah. Delivery things like hand gestures, motions, all those types of things are very, very important, and a lot of people don't emphasize them enough. And I think it's good that you're conscious of the fact that you need to maybe work on those. I am extroverted enough that I do a lot of hand gestures and all those things myself. So I don't have to work on them as much. Oh man, I hit the wall. I don't have to work on them as much, but they're still really good to work on. And especially if it doesn't come naturally to you. I'm just fortunate that it comes a little naturally to me. Alright. Oh, I'm flying. I need to stop for this red light. Nice. Okay, I will get some gas. I will rest. And I can look for another job. Rafe says, I have to force myself to be more natural. I need to start. Yeah, I hear you. It takes concerted effort oftentimes and practice. Ooh, I'm going to fuel up right here. Oh, I stopped just short. Stopping distance a little different without a trailer. Ooh, I need to... There we go. Turn off the engine. Diesel price, $3.29. Let's see how many gallons we can take. 52 gallons for 173 bucks. Engine back on. And let's go find a good place to park and sleep in our trailer. Boom. Good spot. Engine off. And let's do a rest. While my guy's resting, I know it takes 2 seconds, but I'm going to be right back, guys. I thought I heard some activity upstairs, so I just want to make sure everything's good to go. I'll be right back. Alright guys, back. Sorry about that. Okay, I got my rest. I got my fuel. Nowhere to repair nearby. So let's look for jobs. Freight market. So we're not next to a big city to do any jobs yet. Man, it'd really be nice to hit Tacoma, Seattle, Everett, and Bellingham. Is there anything that ends in Bellingham? Let's go destination. And I'm going to look for Bellingham. See if there's a Bellingham around here. Barstow. Band Burns. Yeah, this isn't working. I'm going to go... James says, I've been thinking about something. Pacifism versus militarism. I realize that war does come with heaps of dangers, suffering, etc., but if pacifism means doing nothing in the face of immorality, then it's no better. Thoughts? I actually taught a study, James, on this very topic not too long ago. And I fall in the camp of what I would call just war theory, that there are reasons that one might go to war, but it has to be a just war. It has to be a proper war. And let me pull up a book, and we can just chat about it real quick. Let's see. Frame, Doctrine, Christian Life. Right here. This is a great book on the topic, on Christian ethics. I need to wait. My computer's working hard right now, so it's taking a minute to pull it up. Just give it a second. There we go. Okay. Now this one, I remember just war was under the 6th commandment. So let me go 6th commandment. Love, vengeance, and self-defense. War and punishment, theories of punishment, motives, observations, prison, capital punishment, war. Right here. Under the new covenant, that is our current day and age, the kingdom of God is not to be advanced by war, i.e. the Crusades. Though Christians have not always understood this principle, Jesus has withheld the sword from his family. There is a war to be fought by Christians, but it is a spiritual war, not a war to be fought with physical weapons. We vie for people's minds and through thoughts and ideas, right? Those weapons have no power against spiritual enemies, Satan and his troops. Only truth, righteousness, the gospel, faith, salvation, the word of God, and prayer can vanquish Satan's armies. So war is an important metaphor for the life of Christians. Scripture also teaches that the gospel will provoke violence among people. Sometimes if you preach the gospel, people might get violent or upset. Christians were often hanged and murdered and burned at the stake and hung on a cross for their belief, right? There will be persecution for those who honor Christ, but such warfare is initiated by the opponents. The individual believer is not to take the offensive. Okay, and then here's a final couple ideas. Nevertheless, Scripture recognizes that warfare is sometimes necessary in a fallen world. As we have seen, God has given the sword to the civil magistrate. The government is supposed to utilize the sword for punishing wrongdoers. The sword is an instrument of bloodshed and death. God is the one who enables the devout warrior to prevail in Psalm 144. Scripture respects the military vocation. John the Baptist told soldiers not to rob others, but he did not tell them to leave the army. Roman centurions tend to be positive models in the New Testament. And in the Old Testament, Abraham rescued his nephew Lot by raising a military force. Later, God commanded Israel to make war. Deuteronomy 20 distinguishes between two different kinds of war. One is against the Canaanite tribes, and that's Kedem warfare, right? And so they had to fight those, but Kedem warfare is not what we're engaged in anymore. So a lot of the Old Testament principles for war don't apply because that was for their period. The other form of warfare mentioned in Deuteronomy 20 is against cities that are far away. This is the idea where just war and those things come into play. It is important to remember that even the second kind of warfare is a holy war. These are all for Israel. And the idea then is, and I agree with Frame here, that's why I'm just reading you what he has to say. The idea is that warfare is sometimes necessary, but we should not be initiating or instigating the warfare. That's something that God does that's something the enemy does, and we act in a defensive manner, right? And that's kind of the direction we go. So he goes into more pacifism, just war theory, all these ideas. And he says a war is just if it fulfills the following obligations. And he has, let's see, 10 of them. Just cause, all aggression is condemned, only defensive war is legitimate. Okay? Only defensive war is legitimate. Just intention, the only legitimate intention is to secure just peace for all involved. So warfare that's end goal is peace, aiming for peace, is just. Last resort, war may only be entered upon when all negotiations of compromise have been tried and failed. So you have to try every other option. It's kind of like your last resort. Formal declarations. Since the use of military force is the prerogative of governments, not of private individuals, a state of war must be officially declared by the highest authorities. 5. Limited objectives. If the purpose is peace, then unconditional surrender or the destruction of the nation's economic or political institutions is an unwarranted objective. If your goal is peace, then fight for peace. Proportionate means the weaponry and use of force should be limited to what is needed to repel the aggression and deter future attacks. Non-combatant immunity, since war is an official act of the government, only those who are officially agents of the government may fight. Individuals not actively contributing to the conflict should be immune from attack. Other writers have appealed to additional principles such as these. These are 3 more that he doesn't necessarily hold to, but 3 more thoughts. Comparative justice. War should not be waged unless the evils that are fought are grave enough to justify killing. 9. Probability of success. There must be a reasonable likelihood the war will achieve its aims. You don't just jump into a futile war. And then finally, good faith in treaties and agreements. So these are some of the standards that a lot of philosophers have talked about when it comes to just war theory down through the ages. And so these are the sorts of things that need to be considered for a war to be just and for a government to be proper in entering into that war. So I hope that helps, James. Maybe a little more in depth than you wanted, but I hope it helps. Being purely pacifistic, I don't think works in a fallen world, but a purely aggressive warfare is not right either. We must take a defensive approach and only engage in war for the purpose of finding peace. Good question. See, this is part of why I like playing games with you guys, because we get to still talk theology. That's awesome. All right, I have decided I got to go through Tacoma, Seattle, Everett, and Bellingham. I want to get up to Bellingham. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to organize price per distance for sure. And what I want to do is I'm going to look for jobs in these 3 cities that are nearby that end in Bellingham. So let's start here. Wenatchee, Everett, Truckee, Jackpot, Eureka, Port Angeles, Klamath, Seattle, Aberdeen, Portland, Port Angeles. Okay, that's not doing it. Let's try Vancouver. Bellingham right here. The offer expires in 5 hours. Oh, look at that route. That's awesome. That's what I want right there. Let's go. The offer expires in almost 6 hours. I think I can get to that town in 6 hours, but I better hurry. Let's get that engine fired up and let's get rolling. I know I'm going against traffic, but I gotta get there. James says, yeah, it helps. Good, I'm glad. I taught that in a Bible study a few weeks back. Well, actually, it's been a couple months now, but it sparked a lot of really good conversation with people. Oh, yellow. Okay, I stopped. Stopping distance is a lot easier. I also need to find, let's see, on the route, I need to find Man, in Vancouver, I still can't get repaired. I might be able to pull off, like here would be a good spot to get repaired after I take the job. So I just need to keep my eye on potential repairs. Because I think I'm 9% damage on my truck. Man, look at the graphics. I enjoy it. It's a fun game. Oh, here we go. In the grass a little bit. No worries. Oh no. Definitely clip that sign. It's harder to drive in the third person. But I like the graphics, so. Oh yeah, we'll get there on time. And then we'll have a really nice job to head up to Bellingham. I know I'm speeding, but I just want to make sure I get to the job on time. The in-game time goes very, very quickly, so you want to make sure that you're able to make it on time. It appears I have a visitor. Gotcha. James says, it's kind of sad how culture surrounding Christianity tends to drive people away from Christianity. I agree 100%, James, and that's actually something that really concerns me as a pastor. That, like, we all enjoy chatting with each other, chatting about theology, chatting about important things, and we can do so while maybe even disagreeing on certain topics, and it's okay. Nobody has to get fired up about it, nobody has to be condescending, mean, or rude, and nobody has to call anybody an idiot, right? But a lot of people seem like they can't engage in that kind of dialogue with others, and to be frank, it's often Christians who are unwilling to engage in that kind of dialogue, and that really makes me sad, and I wish that the culture surrounding Christianity was different. I really do. It's something I feel very strongly about, and I agree with you 100%, James. It's just a shame. It's such a shame to see that. There is another lane. Maybe I should go around this guy. I know he's pulling a trailer and I'm not. Ooh, no, that lane would have led me the wrong path. Here we go, here we go. I meant to shift up and accidentally shifted down. There we go. Boom. Headed to Vancouver. It's getting into the evening. 7:30. Means we'll be doing half the job in the dark again. Classic. Let's see. Ooh, that road almost threw me off. Drake's, the fake in and out. Nice. Oh man, I like playing this game a lot. Okay, let's go. Ooh. Red light on this little frontage. Boom. Got it. And I'm going to have to go third person so I can see the actual stoplight. James says, I think the irreligiosity today is partly a result of the culture surrounding Christianity and the atrocities it has inflicted, such as colonialism. I don't think you're wrong, James. I don't. It's a shame that that's part of the history that we have to deal with. And it is. It's something that we have to answer for as we engage with the culture and try to make a compelling case for Christianity. And I think a lot of people don't find Christianity compelling because of those reasons. Now, I will say this, James. I think a lot of people haven't actually considered those things, but just heard somebody else like Richard Dawkins say it. And then they were just convinced, oh, I don't like Christianity. And a lot of people haven't looked into it for themselves. And I try to promote an environment. Oh, these guys didn't use the turn lane. What? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's a disaster, guys. I need to cut you off, truck. I'm sorry, it needs to happen. He doesn't care. Oh man, this is bad. I owe a lot of fines now. I got in the turn lane, and so they decided to turn out of the left lane without me. Well, there's the AI for you. But I do think a lot of people, James, don't actually dig into the details of those things. Like, say, for example, the Crusades or things like that. And they just put it out there like, this self-evidently means Christianity isn't true. And I agree that those are concerns, but I don't know that it's as self-evident as people try to make it out to be. And so I like a healthy questioning of those things, but I don't think you're wrong either. I absolutely don't think you're wrong. Rafe says he's got to go soon. Then let me make sure I answer your last question here, Rafe. Let's see. I was told the other day by a friend on the leadership board of my church that when they get a new pastor, they want to make me an associate. I sure hope so. That would be great, Rafe. Great opportunity, and especially if you can get an older, more seasoned pastor to get some training from, I think that'd be so beneficial for you. So beneficial, brother. Let's see, my map's a little lost here. That'd be great to have the opportunity to function as an associate. I really think so. Yeah, Rafe, that would be awesome if you got that opportunity. What a great opportunity to train and learn, ask questions, grow, all that type of stuff. I'll be praying for you, brother, that you get that opportunity, because that would be just so good for you. Especially because I know you struggle a bit with your self-confidence too, so that would be helpful to get some real feedback from a seasoned veteran pastor. That'd be awesome for you. And if you got to take off, Rafe, you just go ahead and do it. So glad to have you, so glad to be able to interact with you on this level as well. And I hope you have a good evening, and hopefully we can catch up a little bit more tomorrow as well. I'm going to try to pull into this trailer spot here. James says, because it doesn't try to answer the actions of the culture surrounding Christianity, instead justifying it by random chance, etc. Yeah, I think you're right. There's almost an anti-intellectualism, anti-discussion bent to Christianity, where people won't talk about these hard things, and they'll refuse to just admit, like, hey guys, we've been wrong, and we can improve. So I think you're right about that, unfortunately. See, this is the wrong spot. This isn't my GPS, which is okay. I think I can drive through this yard and hit the jobs on the other side. Yeah, there they are. Does it connect through is the question. It doesn't. Maybe a gate here? Nope, I gotta go back around. Oh man. I can't access the road from here. I'm wasting time now. I talked about how important it was to not waste time, and here I am. I don't have much time to go get to the job market. Riff says, yes, have a good one. You too, brother. Good to chat with you. Oh, you're right, James. I missed something. But the irreligiosity, which is trying to replace religion, isn't any better, I think. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it helps people. A lot of people act like it does. A lot of people act like it helps, but it doesn't. So I agree with that. You were right about what you said, but I was talking about a different thing. Yeah, I got you. That makes sense. I was clearly, I clearly missed that piece about the irreligiosity. So you're saying the irreligiosity, which is trying to replace religion, isn't any better. because it doesn't try to answer the actions of the culture surrounding Christianity, instead justifying it by random chance. I've got you. The worldview that it puts forth isn't sufficient to speak to the importance of the topic at hand. It's a vapid worldview. It doesn't have the rigor or the weight that is needed to help somebody justify their existence. While Christianity does have the rigor and weight that's needed, Christianity often doesn't live up to its best ideas, doesn't follow up with its best ideas. Man, I do not know where this job is at, guys. Let's go back out front and see if I can't get the job on that side. James says, yeah, exactly. Nietzsche actually discusses this. That's right. What a lot of people who hold to modern atheistic principles and ideas don't understand is that in their attempt to quote-unquote kill God, they've actually sabotaged their own worldview and understanding of the world completely. Oh no, I have to wait for this train. They've completely sabotaged their own way of looking at the world, and they don't have the necessary tools to deal with the world in a meaningful way because of atheism. But they actually, here's the irony, James, they live on borrowed capital. Atheists act like Christianity is true and use Christian principles to deny Christianity. The development of the West is a profoundly Christian development, and they live on borrowed capital, functioning and acting as though Christianity were true, and then using that information to deny Christianity. It's a real shame that we've kind of given up the intellectual weight on this topic, because we have a much stronger leg to stand on than I think a lot of Christians realize. Please tell me this is the job. Yes. Ventilation shaft. Urgent delivery. Up to Bellingham. Articulated trailer. We're going for it. Take job. Oh, this is going to be awesome. Proceed towards the green flag. Oh. What did I hit? Didn't. Oh, I'm just stalled out on these railroad tracks, I guess. Look, my truck does not even want to move. Let's try reverse. That's hilarious. Let's get a running start at it. There we go. And I think I'll just pull off to the right here where there's some more room, and then just back in. And then what we need to do as well is we're going to need to stop at a shop on the way. Let's see. Can I make it all the way around? I don't think I can. I'm almost hitting this fence. No, I'm good. Man, this view is great for backing up. Ooh, almost hit this fence. James says, it's got 2 hours to do it. Are you talking about my job? I think it gives both Christianity and irreligiosity strong cases. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Okay, let's get this backed up. Here we go. Okay, I dodged that fence. Perfect. There's a trailer back there. Oh, I'm good to go. That's a clean. This is going to be a clean hookup. I can tell on these mirrors. Got it. Trailer. Yeah, the 2 hours is referring to the truck job. Got you. Yep. I'm going to have to get rolling on this truck job. Okay, so let's map out where we're going to get repaired on the route, because I'll put a stop in. Oh, right here. This is going to be a perfect spot to get repaired. Well, maybe not. That turnoff, look how holed in that is. I still think it's worth it. Is there a better one on the way? Drake looks like garbage. Imagine trying to get out of that with an articulated trailer. That's not going to work. This looks bad too. And this is clear up to Bellingham. It's too far. Yeah, I need to stop here. Need to stop here. So this will be good. Exit. Go in, get repaired, come back out, and take off. Hopefully that doesn't add too much time. Let's see. That's showing just over 5 hours, so we'll call it 6 hours. And let's look at how much time we have to do it. I've got 7 hours and 13 minutes, so I'm going to be cutting it close, but I think I can do it. I might speed a little bit on this job just to make sure I get well ahead. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, no one's coming. Man, look at that big articulated trailer coming out of there. Am I going to get around? I shouldn't have slowed down on this. Those train tracks stopped me before. Here we go. We're good. Let's see. James says, I think it does give both Christianity and irreligiosity strong cases. The strong cases thing was referring to what you said on irreligious using Christian principles. Got you. Okay. To deny Christianity. They could use that to deny Christianity, but the thing is they don't acknowledge that their history or ideals are based off Christianity. Exactly. That's the problem. And we need to point that out to people. While the Christians are, as you said, don't even acknowledge the mistakes they do, etc. Yeah, you nailed it, James. And that's one of the difficulties. And it's hard because even as a Christian minister, I get a chance, essentially for most people in my congregation, I get a chance once a week to try to speak truth into their lives on this topic. And that's it. I don't get many other chances other than that, right? And so it's very, very difficult to get people to see the truth about this and how they ought to be living in order to, you know, commend Christianity to people. It's a big challenge. Oh, nice. I got that left green arrow in time. You better stop, car. Okay, we're good. We are good. Okay, we have got to go on this job. I'm going to speed on this job if I need to. Just because I only got an hour to play with. And if anything unexpected comes up, which in this game they love to throw unexpected stuff at you. If anything unexpected comes up, it's going to be something that'll throw me off. James says, one thing that bothers me is the idolatry of nations. Could you go into more detail on that, James? What do you mean by that? James says, like putting success, the nation, etc. on a pedestal. Oh, I got you. Yeah, I agree. Like a strong sense of nationalism, that type of thing, where it's like, it doesn't matter what ideals we hold to, it doesn't matter this, it doesn't matter that, because we're Christian, or we're this religion, or we're that. I can feel you on that. That bothers me, and I'm going to actually speak out against that a little bit this Sunday when I talk about redefining success. Because I think a lot of people think of success in national or political terms, and that's not the biblical view on what success is. Problem when you go this fast is you might roll your double articulated trailer. God is not American, nor is he Japanese, nor is he British, etc. Agree 100%, James. 100%. And in fact, in this day and age, yes, he had a national people in the Old Testament, Israel, but in this day and age, the Bible makes it very clear that God is the God of people from every tribe, tongue, people, and nation. That is what he is doing in our current day and age, is he is going out to the nations. Oh, look as it gets dark. Look at that overcast. That's really nice. Really, really nice. I'll need to exit here. And then go get repaired. And then I'm going to get right back on the road. I got to do this quick. Ooh. I forgot the braking distance changes so much. Okay, we're good to go. Okay, doing good. Be able to get down in here and get repaired. Oh, they better not ticket me. Good, I was in the intersection. Let's see, where's the repair? Not the scales. Where's the shop? Here it is. We want to waste as little time here as possible. Service. $2,000 worth of repairs done. Exit. Okay, we got repaired. We got plenty of room to turn here. That's good. And I just need to get out of here. Let's squeeze in between these scales and this, these pumps. I think we got plenty of room. Yeah, we're good to go. Get back on the road. Nobody's coming. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna use the turn lane so I don't clip the sign. Alright, off to the races. Okay, I'm showing 4 hours left to get there. And let's look at... And I've got 5 hours, 45 minutes to deliver. So, I'm looking good. I'm looking good. Fingers crossed for nothing unexpected. I don't think I put that trailer on the grass much either, so I think that was a good turn. Back on the freeway. And here we go. Ooh. Okay. You're there, I get it. Wait a second, now it's showing 5 hours. 5 hours, and oh my gosh, I'm gonna be cutting it close. 5 hours, 18 minutes remain. And if you look in the lower right corner, I'm showing 5 hours to deliver, which means I need to speed if I can do it. Ooh, it's gonna be a close one. You don't want to deliver late if you can help it. Hopefully this is a 2-lane road all the way. Oh no, wait a second. Am I missing my exit? No, it had me doing a loop for some reason. I need to remove this. There we go. Okay, I'm good. That might help my time actually too, because it doesn't have me doing a loop. That's why it went to 5 hours. Okay. Whew. Had me scared there for a minute. Yeah, see, we're at 3.5. Much better. But 2 lanes the whole way would still be nice. See if we can... If that is how it goes down. Man, nice wide 3-lane road. Feeling good. Look at that. I'm going 80 on this turn. I'm gonna take up the other lane a little bit. Okay, no, I'm good. Here I will, though. There we go, nice. Unexpected event. See, this is the sort of crap that we can't have happen. Ugh. They're forcing us all to exit. On such a tight delivery schedule, too. I wonder if I can exit and get back on. I think I can. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not that bad at all as an event. Sometimes those can really throw you off and you'll have to go hours out of your way. Oh man, I stopped. Failure. All I need to do is just get in this left lane and turn back on. Yeah, I'm good to go. There we go. Good to go. It's interesting they have it all shut down. Vehicle inspection. Man, they're doing everything they can to try and stop me on this one. It's brutal. Luckily, a vehicle inspection is quick. £50,000. Thank you for your cooperation. Two and a half hours out still. Take a wide turn here for my trailer. Okay, back on the road. Dodged an unexpected event. Got a good way in. Hopefully it's smooth sailing from here. Let's see. I hope I unlocked Tacoma when I rolled through there. I didn't see it pop up. I wonder if I'll get Seattle or not. That's part of the reason I went this way, is I wanted to get these events. But I can't afford a late delivery, so I can't go out of my way to pop through these towns specifically for that purpose. Yeah, it won't give me Seattle, I don't think. That's fine, though. I can come back and pick up Seattle later. It's cool to be up in Washington and exploring it all. It's very, very different terrain than driving through the Arizona desert. I spent so much of my initial playthroughs on this game just through the Arizona desert. Oh, Seattle discovered. Okay, that's pretty cool. I'm speeding too much. I'm gonna roll these trailers. Okay, no, I'm good. I only keep saying that because I did roll a trailer earlier this morning when I was playing. Completely did a full 360-degree barrel roll. Landed back on my wheels. Had like 60% damage to my truck. It was an expensive job. I ended up losing more money than I made on it. About to hit Everett. James says the... Ooh, you got a couple good ideas here. Hold on. I think modern society's irreligiosity is partly to blame for its arrogance and decadence because of the feeling of science enabling human to conquer the material plane, and decadence at the same time it speaks of humans' insignificance. So we're trying to find meaning, and we're doing so through decadence, but we're really just trying to assign meaning for ourselves, which Nietzsche said was an impossible task, and it really just illustrates our arrogance. Okay, I think I'm with you on that. You continue, the conquering of the material plane just results in the destruction of the environment, which leads to the death of humanity. Okay. Now, one thing I'd like to balance that with, James, is in... You can bypass the way station. Nice. In the book of Genesis, when mankind is given what's called the creation mandate, Genesis 1:28, we're told to have dominion over the earth and to subdue it. And I just wanted to point that out. That's a command that God gives us. Oh, he got me for speeding. Makes sense. I've been speeding this whole time. But the penalty I receive for a late delivery is a lot higher than my speeding fine. So I'm going to keep speeding. So the only thing I want to say is I want to balance that by saying that we as Christians are supposed to have dominion over the earth and to subdue it. But that doesn't mean conquering it, right? And those are the differences. Those are the distinctions. That having dominion and subduing the earth, I view more as cultivating the earth as though it were a garden. And I think that garden metaphor makes a lot of sense because it's very biblical. You have the Garden of Eden. Man was supposed to tend it. At the end of the book of Revelation, we get placed back into a garden. And so garden imagery and metaphors are very, very strong when it comes to how we are to take care of the earth. Now, again, the Genesis language is to have dominion and subdue, which might sound like conquer, but it's not. It's a gardening type metaphor. Yeah, I like that, James. You said we act as stewards, not conquerors. I agree 100%. And that's a big difference there with how our modern society has changed things. Let me drop gears quite a bit. Solid exit. Bellingham discovered. Nice. I hit a lot of cool towns. Cool road to drive through all this, to be honest. And it looks like I might have plenty of time. Let's just look real quick. Yeah, 2 hours left to deliver, and it shows I'm like 20 minutes away. Killing it. That worked out. That was a nice little jaunt. We're going to get a good delivery bonus out of it, too. Solid job. We hit a lot of new cities. Very cool. James says, of course it speaks volumes that arrogance has happened before along with decadence. Yeah, it's very true, right? The author of Ecclesiastes says there's nothing new under the sun, and what he means is that humanity and history tends to repeat its mistakes over and over again, and I think that's a good example of that. Cool little town, Bellingham. I like it. I know he's not here anymore, but Rafe knows that Logos Bible Software's headquarters is in Bellingham. Which is kind of cool because that's the software I use to prep my sermons, and the software he uses as well. Ooh. There we go. And I think right on red is good. I think I tested that before. So I'm going for it. Nope, red light fine. Okay, good to know. Maybe I wasn't as far enough to the right. A lot of traffic for 1 a.m. It is Saturday, I guess. What does the Bible say about answering for the crimes of your family, group, etc.? Now, I actually feel pretty strongly about that, James. There's a lot of... I want you to know that there are multiple opinions on this topic, okay? I just want you to know that up front. Just because I say something on this topic doesn't mean it's purely the only stance, okay? Because right now there's actually a ton of discussion and argument going on in Christian circles about the question of, do white Christians need to make reparations for the damage that they have done down through history to black Christians? Do we need to make reparations? That's actually a controversy right now in Christian circles. Now, I believe strongly that the Bible teaches we are all one in Christ. We're all one man in Christ. Paul actually says in the book of Galatians, I believe it is, there is neither slave nor free, there is neither Scythian nor Jew nor barbarian, etc. And he says we are all one and in one, and he means in Christ. And so my understanding, interpretation of that is that we should not hold racial groups, or any groups really, to the standards or principles that they need to answer for the sins of their ancestors. I think we just need to recognize that sometimes ancestors do wrong things, bad things, and try to move forward. I do not see Christianity as a reverse-looking religion that tries to say, oh, we did this bad thing in the past, we did that bad thing in the past, we need to answer for this, we need to do that. Instead, I see Christianity as a forward-looking religion that says, what does God have in the future in store for his people? And so that's a big distinction I want to make for you. I want you to know that's not the only opinion on the topic, okay? But it's my opinion on the topic, so. But yeah, it's actually a pretty big controversy right now. Boom, nice delivery. Excellent. Look at that. Almost 10 grand for a pretty quick run. Sweet. Okay, I'm going to throw a little save in here, and then I'm going to take off. I'm going to do some dinner real quick, and then I've got to hang out with some friends tonight. But, James, I'm totally glad we could hang out and interact in this way as well. It was super enjoyable for me. And I'm glad we could chat about some of the questions you had and all of those things. And hopefully in the future, I can maybe do more streams like this. Maybe you could show me Stellaris, because I know I have Stellaris. And so maybe you could show me how to play it and give me some tips and some pointers on it. Good questions. I love the interaction we had. Hope you have a good rest of your night, and I plan to be on it tomorrow as well, so maybe I can interact with you then. God bless. Have a good night. Take care. Bye now.